Hi, everybody. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. Today, I'm going to tell you about boy, were they ever wrong? Yes, the doctor was wrong. I was misdiagnosed, and I'll tell you how that all went. So, I went to the doctor, and every year, and I would get a blood test to check and see if I was diabetic because my father was diabetic and type 2, and my uncle got diagnosed in his 50s as type 1. So I thought, just as a safety thing, I'll go get checked once a year. So every year I'd come back, I was fine. The sugar was fine, wasn't diabetic. And then one year when I was 50, 50, my blood test came back and I was type 1 I was diabetic, not type 1. I was diabetic. So I had a very blunt doctor at that time, which was like 16 years ago, and he's no longer with us now. But he told me that you're fat, you're old, more than likely you're type 2 diabetic. Okay, so he gives me metformin and a long lasting shot, I think it was Levemir, that I had to take. Well, that wasn't working. So he's like, oh, you're metabolizing the Levemir too fast. So take half the dose in the morning and half at night. So, okay, I tried that. Well, 8 months goes by. My sugar is now running about 500, which normal is 70, 80, depending on who you talk to 120. So let's just say, for conversation's sake, it's 70 to 120. So anyway, I 8 months later, I'm still running high. The doctor told me before, lose some weight, lose weight, and you'll get better. So I lost 40 pounds, and I didn't get better. I kept getting higher and higher and higher. My sugar was higher. So, anyways, one day I called him and just told him exactly what I thought, and I told him that I can't keep going on this way with my sugar like this. I feel bad. I never miss a day work. I went to work every day, and still I was feeling terrible. And so finally he told me, go to the hospital, get a blood test. They'll freeze it, send it to California, see if you have antibodies, and we'll go from there. So I did that. They sent it off, came back. I did have antibodies. I was now type 1 diabetic. So, which is very unusual to be diagnosed type 1 diabetic, especially at the age of 50. So, we went on the shots and all that other good stuff. But a year prior to that, my granddaughter, she was starting to have a, a lot of symptoms on a trip that the family and I went on, and the symptoms of diabetes. So we checked her sugar when we got to my parents, and it came back. Was coming out high. She was like 400, I think. So they immediately took her to the emergency room, and she was 8 years old, and she was type 1 diabetic. So anyway, so she got diagnosed at the age of 8. Now she's 9. I got diagnosed as type 1 diabetic also. So when they finally figured out that I was type 1, they I came home that day, and my daughter and I, we both have a 2 flat together, and Destiny is her name. She met me at the door, and I said, "So, what do you think? Your Nana is, that's what she calls me, Nana. I have a total of 5 grandchildren." But anyway, I said, "So, what do you think? Your Nana is type 1 diabetic, just same as you." She says, "Well, that's good and that's bad. And I says, well, what do you mean? And she says, well, it's bad because you got to take a whole lot of shots right now. But it's good because I'm not alone anymore. She knew no one else that was diabetic. And she made I still have it. It's a cardboard sign and it says, it's a picture of her and I outside. And at the top it says insulin buddies. So I learned a lot, because she was diabetic before I was, about the insulin pumps and everything. So a year after I was diagnosed, I went on a insulin pump, and everything has been working out really well. Now, one of my biggest, well, not biggest, but the biggest question I have for my doctor is right after he diagnosed me as type 1 diabetic, I was going to a party and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to a party. I'm going to have some cocktails. What is it that I can drink? He's like, no, you can't drink anything. You can't drink anything. I said, you might as well tell me what it is that I'm going to be able to drink, or I'm just going to figure it out. He says 40% alcohol by volume or better. I says, okay. So that's how I found Jack Daniels. So just a side note is that. But yeah, being diagnosed at 50, that was like a big life change. You had to change the way, well, first of all, I wasn't on any medications at all. I was healthy, everything was fine. I didn't have, I would have occasional drinks here and there, and I would like to have beer with pizza. And he's like, don't drink beer, to make you get sick. And I was like, oh, yeah. I drank half a beer and got very sick with a pizza. So I figured out then I couldn't drink it. Now it doesn't really bother me. But like I said, I don't drink. I only drink socially and, when I'm going out or stuff like that. But and you just have to get used to it. Like I said, it is life changing, but you figure it out. And my granddaughter now is 25, and she's actually a CNA, and she works with kids at the hospital that are diabetic. Same place she went when she was a child for her diabetes. And I'm thankful that I had her, and I'm thankful that of the technology that we have now. 5 years ago, that's when my doctor, my endocrinologist, told me that I should probably try to get a service dog because my A1C was still running on the high side and I was having trouble getting it under control. And he says, if you get a service dog, and have it trained as, a diabetic to alert you when your sugar is high, that would probably work out really well for you. Well, a year prior to that, my granddaughter was going away to college, and my daughter wanted her to have a service dog to go with her, just so to help her, since she was going to be 2 hours away. So she got a service dog, and she adopted a rescue dog and had it trained as a service dog to her sense, because you have different smells about you when your sugar's high or low. And I seen how they trained her dog. So when I ended up getting a dog, also a rescue, and I got her during when all the sickness was going on. And just 2 weeks prior to me getting her, my brother had passed. So I named her Harley Davidson in honor of him because he was a big biker. And she helps me every day now. So funny story about her. She was a year old when I rescued her. And I said, I rescued her 5 years ago, and she rescues me every day. So if you're not familiar with how you train a service dog, I'll put that in another video, and then maybe I'll have her do some demonstrations of how she checks my sugar and how she alerts me and different things like that. But I am very grateful for the technology. But I had Harley, my source dog, before a lot of this technology had came out. Before I had a Dexcom and all that other good stuff. So I'm very thankful for her. She does make my life a lot easier. Plus, she's my friend. She goes with me everywhere. Everywhere I go, she goes, and I never have to worry about it. And to be honest with you, she alerts me that my sugar is high or low before the Dexcom even alarms that anything's going on. So, anyways, but that's my story about being diagnosed as type 1 diabetic. And as I said, they gave me pills, and what I needed was insulin. And that went on for like 8 months. But I'm just thankful it was finally figured out. So, you have a good rest of the day. And today is Father's Day. So, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And happy Father's Day to all the moms that are out there doing the work of the dads. All right. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.